Today we're talking all about inflation and understanding how it affects your finances. Bryan Beatty is a certified financial planner and partner at Egan Berger and Weiner LLC and joins me now. Welcome back.
Hi.
People think that they know about inflation, but really, do we really understand it? And can you explain it to us in a way that is simple for us to get and quick?
Sure, absolutely. Inflation really is pretty much the decreasing purchasing power of your money over time. And I think we have a graphic that they're going to put up that actually shows in real numbers what has happened to the purchasing power of the dollar over time. I think it starts in 1913, where if a dollar bought 100% of what a dollar could afford to buy, today it buys barely a few percent compared to what it bought back in 1913.
So this is when people say the power of the dollar.
Absolutely.
This is what they're talking about.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so what is the cause of inflation? I mean, this eroding dollar, what is it really caused by?
Well, actually, the cause of inflation is an increase in the money supply.
Okay.
But it's not as simple as saying as soon as money supply increases, we have inflation. There's a couple of things that have to happen for the inflation to work its way through the system, and that is that the money has to actually circulate through the economy. You may have read or heard recently that the Fed's balance sheet is at an all-time high, pushing $3 trillion, which is 3 times the size it was 4 years ago, but we don't really have significant inflation. We do have pockets of inflation. We have a lot of asset inflation, which is prices stocks going up and commodities, but the money's not really circulating because we don't have a healthy enough economy and we have a slack in the employment rate. So what I refer to all this extra money is kindling for a fire, and all it needs is a spark. But the spark, that's unemployment. As soon as we bring unemployment down and more people are in the workforce, labor wages will start to rise. And when they do, that's very dangerous for the amount of increased money supply we're dealing with today.
Okay. So is this a win-lose situation? Are there winners and losers, and does it depend on high inflation, low inflation? Well,
there are winners and losers. In fact, if we're talking about a period of high inflation, the winners are going to be those who have fixed cost loans, like a mortgage on a property but at a fixed level. The value of your asset will go up, the value of your loan by proxy will go down. The losers actually are those on a fixed income, like a pension or someone with a savings account that has a fixed low interest rate. Those without investments are penalized, so they're losers. Those with investments are winners, depending on how you define winners. But they keep up with the value of their dollar. They're able to buy the things they need in the future by maintaining the purchasing power of their dollar.
So investing and all of this stuff really means planning for your future.
Absolutely.
So how much money do I have to plan to have for my future?
Well, how much you have to have is a function of how you live your life, what kind of needs you have, what kind of wants that you have. And once you figure out what your needs and your wants are, then you're going to be able to figure out how much money to have. But I think what's more important is not just how much money you need to have, but what your money needs to do. And inflation is a real big worry for a lot of retirees. Simply put, you know, if you can't afford the lifestyle 20 years into your retirement, perhaps you didn't do the right thing with your money.
So what about planning for college and that kind of thing for in the future? If you know, college costs X amount of money now, how do I kind of gauge that information? Well,
college is running at a higher inflation rate than a lot of other things and services and goods that we buy. So, but what you need to understand is that you need to invest in equities or stocks, mutual funds primarily, in order to offset the effects of inflation. I think I have a graph that shows the increasing cost of college over a 10, a 20, and a 30-year period.
Right.
Yeah, it's on the screen now. It also shows the cost of postage over time. So what you need to understand is if you're going to retire or if you're going to have a child that grows up 18 years from now ready for college, you need to know not what cost of college is today, but what the cost of college is tomorrow, what the cost of goods are going to be 20 or 25 years out into the future. That's what you need to understand about inflation.
So if the dollar is going up and down in terms of how much it's worth, dollar stores, will they still be around?
Oh, well, you know, you might remember when your grandparents were around, they talked a lot about the 5 and dime stores,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Today we have the dollar store, but you know, when you retire, perhaps it's going to be more like the $10 store.
Oh.
So there you go. That's actually the easiest way to understand inflation.
Well, thank you so much. You guys always make it so easy for us to understand.
Sure.
Bryan Beatty, who's a certified public accountant, who helps us understand these very scary concepts in a very manageable way and leaving us with a joke. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
More Let's Talk Live is coming up. Stick with us right here.